Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Tuesday night. We had a great day in trading for some altcoins, not all, but there were some that did rocket up today. So we'll be looking at that. Also starting with Bitcoin, the Bitcoin chart, essentially right where it was last night when we were streaming. And what did I say last night? I said, I think we're just kind of be going sideways with Bitcoin. And we were. And I was kind of expecting the altcoins to also kind of be going sideways, a little dip overnight. We'll look at that and then back up. But then some of them just kept going up. So we're going to look at those. And we were talking Bitcoin dominance last night too, right? It was about Bitcoin dominance. And what did we see today? I said, right, at some point in time, the altcoins are going to catch up. I didn't think it would be the next day, though. So we had that today. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about what's going on with the Fed, United States Fed meeting tomorrow. That's right, that's tomorrow. There's a lot of anticipation for what Jay Powell is going to say and what effect that may have on the markets. And then talk a little bit about CBDCs too. That's right. The digital dollar, CBDC. Somebody is against it. And I'll tell you who that is if you haven't already heard. But let's get started here. Let me drop down here into the corner. And what the chart was looking like, I had this upward trending line on the Bitcoin chart. And I have this horizontal resistance line at like 28.4. And so two things happened. One, overnight, there was a dip in Bitcoin down to about 27.5. And it briefly dipped below that upward trend line, but then recovered and around noontime actually traded up above slightly 28.4 before coming down. So what we're seeing is this wedge forming here, this kind of wedge. And usually when you see these wedges, something's going to happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little pullback in Bitcoin. Wouldn't be surprised. I think it's had this nice run. I don't think anybody believes Bitcoin is going to $1 million in 90 days. That fad kind of wore off pretty quick. And we'll take a look at an article that's talking about what might be happening with inflows and outflows for Bitcoin. But what did we see today? We saw Doge. That's right, Doge. Big trading, after, again, same time Bitcoin dropped down to, below 28,000, we had Doge drop down to about 706 or so. And then Doge went on this big run today. And it was great, all the way up to 7.8 cents. And just big trading. Doge, it was up and down. It was pretty wild. And when we look at that, what was happening was Doge would come up and then it would get shorted down, and Doge would come up and it would get shorted down. And that is on the Dogecoin shorts chart, which is this one. I've never seen a shorts chart like this. Up and down, up and down. Doge was just getting shorted, was getting bought back up and then shorted again. That you normally don't see a short chart with that, with short positions opened and closed and opened and closed like that. But that's how Doge was trading today, with high volume, good volume with Doge. But it did go up quite a bit from like 708 to 780. That is a big run. It's settling down a little bit now tonight. Bearish? No, not overly bearish. A pullback isn't really being bearish. It's just, again, why do you guys come and listen to me, right? Because I look at the charts, I look at the trading, I see what's going on, and I try and tell you guys what I see, what I see happening with the trading. And so it's all not going to be rocket ships to the moon. I see a little bit of pullback coming, and it has started over the past half hour here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that trading. But we've got Doge, and then we had Cardano. That's right. Cardano started this morning as well early and just kept trading up. So we had that. And then the big one today was XRP. big trading in XRP. For XRP, when we look at the low here that we had this morning up to the high, that's like 30% gain in XRP. So we're going to cover those, see what's going on in the markets and the news. So let me just go back here to Bitcoin at 28.1, and we're going to watch this squeeze here and see whether this wedge squeeze actually becomes something or not. So we will see. Hello, Miyu. Welcome. Welcome. I don't do those O faces. You know that. When Dogecoin hits $1, okay. I'll give you the big O face then. Jack, let's get the party started. Peace. So what's going on? Well, we have this FOMC meeting tomorrow. And as I've been saying for a week, all the other doubters, they were saying, oh, it's going to be 50 basis points. Oh, it's going to be 0. Well, look, 25 basis points is now up to almost 90% certain, according to the people who do these charts, about a 90% certainty that it's going to be a 25 basis point. So if that's what everybody's expecting, when they say it, is the market going to do something or not? If it's 0, right, and there's a pause, would the market see that as positive or negative? Interesting. Positive in that, hey, interest rates aren't raising anymore, so the banks will probably be okay. But what about that pesky inflation? That's why the interest rates are being raised, in order to battle inflation. So it'll be interesting tomorrow morning to see what happens here. I think the 25 basis point is already kind of priced in. And if that's what they say, that the markets may not react overly one way or the other, but the comments will be interesting, and what the Fed actually says in their commentary. That's what we'll be looking at. So that will be what we see tomorrow. Bill says, I think if the Fed does a 25, we'll see Bitcoin over 30. So tomorrow you have to give me credit on here. Okay, Bill. If Bitcoin is over 30, tomorrow you get all the credit. I don't think Bitcoin's going to be over 30 tomorrow. That's just me sitting here at what I'm looking at. But what do we have in, remember GameStop in 2021? Well, we're at it again. GameStop. This is the GameStop chart. It was trading right around $17. And then after the market closed, they had their earnings report, and GameStop as a company showed a profit. It's the first quarter that they've shown a profit in over 2 years. And after market, people just started buying up 48% after market with GameStop stock. Right, GameStop. So is this a short squeeze again? Could be. I don't know what the short positions were on GameStop at the time, but kind of fun to see in stocks, right? This big kind of gain. So kind of interesting to watch, see what's going on there. Futures, they show red, but it's like 0.06%, 0.02%. So that's pretty flat. So stock futures are flat ahead of key Fed policy decision. So not really thinking one way or the other. Comments tomorrow will be key. Yep, that's what I think as well. How hilarious would it be if the rate went up 50 basis points, recession mode on? Yeah. Hey, James, how are you? No more name changes. What I wanted to align my names from YouTube to Twitter. So it was exactly the same, and the ats were the same as well. And I used to be called Kriss Pax a while ago, and I just was looking at names where I could have the full at. So on Twitter, I'm at Kriss Pax, And on YouTube, I'm at Kriss. So that's me, and that's my name. And we'll just stick with that, okay? No more name changes, I promise. All right, Dogecoin. Doge price analysis. Doge soars toward 759 as bullish momentum returns. That's right. We have Dogecoin analysis for today shows an uptrend in the market, and it's only for a few altcoins that really ran. Some of them did like 5 or 6%, but these were like, 10, 15, and even 20% that we saw for some of these that were running. The bullish sentiment in the market driven by increased buying activity, and that's what we saw with Doge. We saw an increase in the volume, and then the shorting and the probably buying longs with leverage too. And so there was some heavy day trading going on today with Doge. But investors are optimistic of the future potential of Dogecoin. So resistance level is 774 and support at 708. So 708 is where Doge was early this morning, and 774 was about the height of the candle this afternoon. So that's the trend now. So we'll have to see what happens going forward with Doge. But that's a look at the Doge price movement today. 708 up to 77 with a candle up to 78. Go back down to 774, and now seeing a little retracement back down to 754. So that's Doge. Next, let's do XRP. Why did XRP rise today? Vote of confidence ahead of court ruling on the SEC Ripple case. That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. Usually these kinds of things, there's a leak or there's something going on where somebody knows something. They start buying, and then more people pile on with XRP, because XRP is the key case between Ripple and the SEC on whether Ripple was selling XRP as an unregistered security. And this has been going on for years, and it's still going on. And like every month, it's like, this is going to be settled soon, and it's just been dragging on and on. But it's sort of getting to the point now where there's no more arguments. The arguments are done. All the filings have been done. It's like, come on, guys. Let's settle this. And yeah, that's what we're waiting for now with XRP. And yeah, that's big run today. A lot of people buying up XRP. We're having a little pullback. That's expected after this big run. And we'll see how XRP settles. But that's what this was about. Ripple Labs native token XRP gained over 30%. Traders appeared assured of a win for the cryptocurrency area forward of a landmark courtroom ruling on the securities and change fees lawsuit towards Ripple. It's still unclear when the New York court will give its ruling. So that is still unknown when that's going to happen. But as Jack is saying, that ruling could launch a big bull run in cryptocurrency. So we're going to be watching this and see what's going on here, because this will be big. This will be big for all of cryptocurrency. Despite what Gary Gensler and the SEC think about crypto, what does a judge say? What do the courts say? Because with Gary Gensler, it's just his opinion. He has not really proven cryptocurrencies are securities. He just says they are, and he goes picking on the exchanges. Like you, Kraken, right? You are trading unregistered securities without giving a definition of what or how a cryptocurrency is actually a security. Doesn't give the definition. KuCoin or Kraken bows down, pays the fee, says we won't do staking. But staking is how proof of stake cryptocurrencies work, right? Yeah. Then we got Cardano. Cardano up. Cardano's price has increased over 5.5% over the past 24 hours, up to 36 cents. And where's Cardano right now? Up to 37. And it actually went up to like 37, 38 cents. Yep. So it's the opposite direction of its trend over the past week, where it experienced a slight loss, but turned around and was following XRP for some percentage. But so somebody was buying Cardano today. I'm not a Cardano holder, but somebody was buying it today. So we have those three on big runs, but everything else was really kind of flat. Matic was somewhat flat. It had a little bit of a run here, but because Matic's run was just a little one and Doge's was a big run, what happened? Well, Doge overtook Matic on the top cryptocurrencies list here, and Dogecoin is now number 8. It has passed Polygon to be the number 8 crypto by market cap. Doge is over 10 billion. Matic is now at 9.9 billion. So for those dismissing Dogecoin, it's the number 8 cryptocurrency by market cap. XRP, of course, went on a big run today, but it's kind of all alone in 6th place here. And then another little curious thing, we have a little bit of depegging going on the USD coin. Not by much, but there is some. And I haven't heard anybody talking about this, but it did come down all the way down to 997. Again, that's not a lot overall, but it's not staying right up at $1. So kind of interesting what's going on here with that. And I want to go back and XRP, because DM is asking about XRP being proof of work. And I believe XRP is proof of work. I just want to come down here. Launched in, that's the XRP ledger. I don't want to do XRP ledger. I just want to do XRP. Ripple and the SEC. Doesn't really say it here on XRP. How about we do this? Google is XRP, which I had chat GPT, XRP proof of work. Look at that, it's even in purple. I've done this before. Ripple doesn't use proof of work or proof of stake consensus protocols. Interesting. It does its own thing, right? Here's Investopedia. Let's see what Investopedia says. Blockchain-based digital payment network and protocol with its own cryptocurrency. Rather than use blockchain mining, Ripple uses a consensus mechanism via a group of bank-owned servers to confirm transactions. Bank-owned servers confirm transactions. So it's not proof of work, and it's not proof of stake. It's proof of consensus. Is that what that is? Interesting. And I've looked it up before, and I didn't even remember it. But yeah, XRP is the digital currency, and so the Ripple network does not run with proof of work like Bitcoin or proof of stake like Ethereum now. Instead, transactions rely on consensus protocol in order to validate account balances. The consensus works to improve the integrity of the system by preventing double spending. Well, that's important. A Ripple user that initiates a transaction with multiple gateways, attempts to send the same $100, will have all but the first transaction deleted. Okay. Well, that's what it is. It's a proof of consensus. Who knew, right? There was such a thing. Interesting. XRP case started bull market. Hey, Martin, if they pause, it's due to bank bond concerns over inflation, which will be more troubling. If they pause, it'll be a move to protect banks because there's still this list of 186 some odd banks that still could be way under in terms of their cash flow, and a run on any of those banks by depositors could make those banks go bankrupt. So pausing could help that situation, but it doesn't help with inflation though. So Gary is a bully. Elon calling for a cut. I saw that, right? Elon saying, let's just cut and let inflation be what it is. Kind of an interesting approach, but we'll see. We'll see what else is going on. Let's look at Bitcoin now. 28,075. It is still in our wedge here, so we'll be watching that. Bitcoin holds 28K due to spot buying, but institutional investors are still selling. So what we're seeing is kind of outflows of institutional investors out of Bitcoin. And we're seeing retailers buying up Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin is holding despite these outflows and inflows. Why would institutional investors be selling? Institutional crypto asset flows data from CoinShares reveals the largest 2-week sell-off from investment funds since March 6th. The outflows have erased the positive inflows for the year. So James Butterfill says that flows may be driven in part by the need for liquidity during the banking crisis. So that's what we see is if there were institutions like banks that were holding Bitcoin, but they see that they don't have the liquidity, that the cash on hand that may be needed if depositors want to withdraw, they're selling their Bitcoin back to cash to have cash on hand. And you would think if there were enough of those, like what we see on this chart here, right? Enough of these outflows that the price would go down, right? A lot of selling of Bitcoin, price goes down. But what's happening at the same time is you see the spot buying, those are the retailers buying Bitcoin back up every time it dips down, just buy it right back up. So that's keeping Bitcoin relatively stable here at 28K. Meanwhile, we have the White House taking aim at crypto in a scathing economic report. The White House took aim at cryptocurrencies in a new report, arguing that many aspects of the digital asset ecosystem are creating issues for consumers, the financial system, and the environment. Here we go again with the mining, crypto mining and the environment, right? Monday's report comes amid growing industry concern that federal regulators are looking to debank crypto companies, Signature Bank, though state and federal regulators have thus far denied the claims. Of course, they're going to say that, right? No, we're not, taking over Signature Bank just because they are friendly to crypto. But that's why they did it. nobody can really understand why the regulators took over Signature Bank. They were not bankrupt. And I said that the night that that news broke on that Sunday, a week ago, because I was looking everywhere. It was just like, nope, Signature Bank is not bankrupt, and the regulators took it over because a lot of crypto exchanges were using Signature Bank for on-ramp and off-ramp of fiat. So if you wanted to get money onto an exchange like crypto.com, it would go through Signature Bank, and Signature Bank then would be that link. Yeah, Signature Bank can't do that anymore. The regulators got in the way of that. So the White House, of course, they're just coming out and they're saying, look, we're looking out for, the United States residents, right? The people of the United States that need to be protected, right? We need to be protected. And the White House is going to protect us. And Elizabeth Warren in Congress is going to protect us, right? Because cryptocurrencies are bad. Look what happened to Luna, and look what happened to FTX, right? Well, we know investing in cryptocurrency is a risk. We know that. We don't need the government regulating the hell out of it, saying that it's bad, when we can make that choice on our own. But the real reason they don't like it, what's the real reason? CBDCs, right? CBDCs. And who do we have? We've got Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is proposing a law in the state of Florida to ban CBDCs. And here's what he put on Twitter today. The movement to establish a central bank digital currency is an attempt to surveil and control the finances of Americans. It would violate privacy, limit consumer choice, and undermine market competitiveness. Now, why would Ron be saying that? Well, first, it's anti-White House, right? He's going to, if he decides to run for president and he becomes the nominee of the Republican Party, he's going to be against Biden. And Biden is coming out against crypto for what appears to be the creation of a CBDC. And this FedNow program looks like that's that step in that direction. And so you're asking, well, what's so bad about CBDCs, right? A digital dollar, what's so bad about it? The one thing we have in cryptocurrencies are all the blockchains are public. It's a public ledger. So every trade that's made can be looked up with the TX number, and you can see it went from this wallet to that wallet every time cryptocurrency is transferred, bought, or sold. It's a wallet-to-wallet transfer, and it's all open on a public ledger, public blockchain. CBDCs, not public. That's going to be private blockchain that only the government can see, right? And we won't be able to look at it. Only the government can look at it. And what else could the government do, right? Well, they can see like who's spending money and who's saving money and how all that's working, because it's all on their private ledger. They can see it all. And then they would also have the ability to maybe take directly from somebody their digital money. We see that happening in China. That's already happening. Somebody jaywalks in China. There's facial recognition cameras. They see who the person is. They know that person has committed a crime. And what do? Shoop! They just take the money right out of their account. It's happening. Are we as Americans going to accept something like that? No. So Ron DeSantis is putting this together, and he's going to be like crypto friendly. Now, how is this going to play across all of the United States when most people in the United States are not interested in cryptocurrencies at all? They don't understand what this CBDC, digital dollar, actually is. And so how this is some issue that may or may not swing voters, I don't know. We'll see. But DeSantis is making a stand on this here. And he could do that in the state of Florida. States can have individual rights. So I don't know how the U.S. government may be able to override this or not. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of lawyers looking at it and figuring out how they can go over what state of Florida might do here. So that'll be interesting how that plays out. But just something I wanted to show you guys what was going on there. It's very interesting. I think it's a big deal. It's a big deal, especially if, you know, the United States had this true digital dollar, then there may be a lot of people who might have been interested in cryptocurrencies that then wouldn't do it. So we'll see how all of that plays out. So Bitcoin's just kind of hanging out right here in the wedge. Dogecoin back up to 7.6 cents. So not too bad. We still have the bone token still dropping down because this whole Shibarium thing that's now in beta is going to take months. So no one really needs the bone token right now. So there's been a big sell-off of the bone token. If we look at the 2-hour chart, you'll see it's just been selling off. What is that decline here from its high up here? 40%. It's a 40% drop in the bone token. SHIB hasn't dropped like that. Well, maybe it has. What is SHIB's for that same amount of time there? About 20%, about half. So SHIB's gone down about 20%, bone's about 40%. Just because of this Shibarium beta test that, of course, the developers were trying to make a big deal out of it. And it may not be actually open to really be used until sometime this summer. So a lot of people upset about that. Kind of interesting. What do we have for XRP now? Yeah, a little sell-off here after this big run here. Little sell-off in XRP. And Cardano's turning around back up. Kind of interesting. Along with Doge. Well, Doge down a little bit. But 7.6 cents, not bad. Not bad at all. And then here's this wedge kind of blown out. See what happens with Bitcoin. Loop protocol. Hey, Bogdan, I don't know about Loop protocol. Let's take a look. Loop. This is the Loop network. Did I get the right one? There's a bunch of loops here. Loop Finance, Loop Rex, Loop X. Oh, so this is it, Loop Network. 9.7 cents. Let's see what it says here. Loop Network is a digital currency framework that supports smart contracts without the adaptability and security impediments of prior frameworks like Ethereum. Project permits parties to make savvy contracts utilizing code to indicate the conduct of the virtual machine. that executes the agreement's capacity. Loop Network endeavors to address adaptability, ease of use issues without compromising decentralization, and use the existing developer community and ecosystem. Sounds interesting. How is it traded? Way up in its lifetime. It looks like it started in just about a year ago. So its previous all-time high was here at 6.5 cents in September. And now it has just overtaken that this week. So it is seeking new all-time highs here. 11 cents. Looks like it just about hit that yesterday. To the fudders, they never said devs pay a lot of marketing fees, never mentioned the cost spent on paying the team to build the blockchain and all the server fees. They never said devs pay a lot to list to the central exchanges with the tax that we can now say is less than our big competitors. Somebody's bearish on this. Looks like there's some debate about the developers of this project. Kind of interesting. Let's see. It is ranked 2,698. So it is a small cap. Max supply 200,000. Total supply 180,000 so far. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Loop, but worth a gamble, maybe. Oh, it's a BNB token. That's what it says here. The contract is on the BNB Smart Chain. So it's not even it's not a layer one. How does it support smart contracts if it's sitting on the Binance Smart Chain? Well, don't know anything more than that, Bogdan. Will bank stocks skyrocket tomorrow? I don't think so, CDM. I don't think so. I think there's still too much uncertainty, no matter what they do. I think if they paused, maybe bank stocks might be up a little bit, but they're not going to skyrocket. I don't see that happening. But if there's a 25 basis point raise, the bank stocks might go down. So Doge is going to skyrocket. It'll take off sometime. Yeah, King. Only a matter of time. We will see. That's why accumulating is good. I've been buying dips, like I said, and I did a swing trade. Over the past 2 days, I did a swing trade. Sold up at like 758 and rebought back in right down here at 712. So that I usually don't swing trade. It was just that this setup here of this run up to 760 to me just looked like there was going to be a pullback. And so I sold here and I bought back in here. But that's what I do sometimes. 123, you're here. You made it. We've been talking about XRP. We're talking about Cardano. We didn't even talk about XLM, but it had a good run today too. And then Doge. Those were the big 4 altcoins that went on a run. And with that, what did we have? We had Bitcoin dominance that we were just talking about how great it was last night. Actually went down. So Bitcoin dominance was up here flirting with 48%. And it dropped all the way down to 47.12 as we had some big movement in some altcoins, particularly XRP and Cardano and Doge, 3 of the top 8 cryptos. Now that Doge is number 8, all went on big runs, and Bitcoin didn't. So the Bitcoin dominance went down this morning. Is it altcoin season? No, not altcoin season. It was just a one-day thing, I think. And just a particular run that those coins had, because it wasn't across all altcoins. There were some that did okay, but we are seeing a pullback here. Optimism pulling back down. Aptos pulling back down. Aptos has kind of been falling down because there's going to be an unlock of some tokens, I think, that are coming up, and people aren't feeling too good about that. So Aptos is coming down. Even Ethereum Classic went on a nice little run today, and then a little pullback going on now. So we have a lot of that right now. Is what's happening tonight. Doge down to 753. So we'll see. So that's where we are today, guys. Again, hit the like and subscribe, please, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. I'm here every night, 9 o'clock p.m. That's East Coast United States time, where I am here in Boston. So look forward to seeing everyone again tomorrow night. If you're watching this on the video because you weren't with us on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, you can join us Wednesday night, 9 o'clock live. You can ask questions in the chat, and we can have a lot of fun. We're going to see how the day goes tomorrow with the FOMC, most likely 25 basis points, see how the market responds to that, and whatever the latest news is, and looking at the charts, of course, and probably talking about, accumulating, buying, selling, all of that stuff. That's what we talk about on this channel. So leave a comment below from the video as well. Let me know how you feel about the markets. Certainly appreciate all of the support. And again, I will be putting on the Bitcoin 24/7 chart right after this stream is over. And I have that running for the next 23 hours until tomorrow night. So you can always, on YouTube, check out the Bitcoin chart. Leave a comment about how you feel about the trading of cryptocurrencies in the chat on the 24/7 chart as well. So hope everyone has a good evening. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.